Annyeong! Hey everybody! I'm Jessie and I like to show you how you can easily sew your own modern hanbok. I absolutely love the Korean culture and the traditional clothes are so beautiful. But unfortunately, in normal life you are not able to wear these. Because of this, it's quite genius to make it modern, a little shorter, to use just less fabric. So for the dress I used a lace cloth and for the belt I used those gold patterned cotton. And for the upper part I used a decorative fabric in this nice golden color. Yes, those fabrics are not quite similar to the original, but I took what I just had at home. And because cotton feels nicer on the skin, I used cotton for the inside of the breast part. And the last thing we need are buttons and snap buttons for a better hold. And these pattern pieces we need. The skirt pattern should be 3 times longer than the breast piece. And for the breast piece, you need to measure your bust line and add 20 to 30 centimeter. And I pimped up the belt a little bit with 3 stripes, which are our buttonholes. One panel of the skirt I cut in the middle. So at the end we have 3 skirt parts, so that we have no middle front seam but side seams. And then we can pin together a short piece, the long piece in the middle, and again a short piece, attention, left side on left side, to make a French seam, so that all ugly edges are nicely hidden. And to reach this, we sew our 2 side seams together around 5 mm, and then we can turn around the whole thing and sew again, but this time from the left side, but this time a little wider than 5 mm, so that we not see the edges of the seam. Then we can pin together right side on right side our 2 breast part pieces just at the top edge, and also pin together our ribbon. And because while we are on it, we can right now pin the belt at the half. So that the neckline looks nice and straight, it's always good to stitch over the seam allowance so that the lining stays in place. And from time to time, iron your seam allowance nicely flat, so the next steps will be much more easier. At the same time, we can iron 1 cm seam at the inside lining of our breast part that we need later. And now back to the skirt. My whole skirt panel was at the end 3 meter 20 long. Yep, right, around 25 centimeter too short. Because of my breast piece is 115 centimeter long and that multiplies with 345 centimeter is, and not only 320, I had three options. One, I could make the drapes not directly next to each other, just a little bit more space between them, but then the fabric is too sheer, too transparent. Or I needed to do the panels at the beginning out of three, not out of two panels, but for that it's too late now. And what I did at the end you will see quite soon. Because now for the drapes I marked with pins 3 centimeter, 6 centimeter, 3 centimeter and so on, and fluted the whole seam. And at the end you should reach the same measurement like your breast part is. But if it's not the case, you can just let go some drapes. But it's important that it is the right side which is underneath and hidden from the upper part. And now we can pin the hem on the left and on the right side. Now, after we sew together the breast part and the skirt part, white side on white side, it's time to iron all the pleats. Drapes. I actually don't know which word is better. Maybe you can help me and write down in the comments below. If you use cotton for the skirt part, you should measure and pin your pleats, because it is really eye-catchy if they not are in line and nicely straight. And if you are wondering why I sometimes use those pressing cloth, those cotton, it's just because some of the polyester fabrics are quite heat sensitive and I don't like to have they sticking on my iron. The final seam at the breast part I will make invisible. And how can we make that? Right, you set the stitch right down below the breast piece. And now I like to make a buttonhole for the ribbon. Usually it comes out of the top edge under the right arm. But I like to make right at this place a buttonhole just for make it more prettier. Here ends the underlayer of the back part, and a couple of centimeters next to it I set a pin to mark the buttonhole. Now I mark the place for the push buttons. I will sew on 2 of them at the top edge in each corner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to calm down a hand stitch scene. I hope you are now pleasantly relaxed, because we will go on with the belt. When you sew the seam, let a space in between to turn the belt inside out. One end of the belt you can close right now. And on the other side we take our stripes and make 3 loops. Don't forget to make the loops 2 cm longer for the buttons, so that the belt is not too tight. My loop shall be 7 cm at the end. Because of this I set a mark on that place. And now I can put this mark exactly in my seam. And here I measure my buttonholes and zigzag them together. By the way, the golden pattern on this fabric is also really heat sensitive, so be really careful while iron this. And finally we can do the hem. I want it in the front a little shorter and in the back a little longer. The original out of the video is actually quite shorter, but I like to wear it like a dress and not as a top. When you cut your length, you should put side seam on side seam and pay attention that the back part is the same high and straight until you reach the side seam. And from the side seam you can go a little higher at the front part if you like. and then just sew the hem. I hope you like my video and it was helpful for you and may inspiring to sew your own modern hanbok. Stay tuned and subscribe to my channel if you like to see more videos like this. And I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Annyeong!